show rundown, but we will talk about how you like to touch penis today. Oh, hey, we're live.
Are we really?
Yeah. Yes.
This is Fight Fans Radio.
Alrighty, I'm back.
And we're live.
Cool.
Now you're.
Hey, everybody!
Oh,
Hi,
Jesus.
We're live.
Well, Derek and I are
My
live.
name is Matthew Roth. What? It doesn't work? Well, I'm
No,
live.
you reset.
I'm here,
He
I'm
reset
talking.
his router right before we got here. This is as live as Matt Roth is going to get, so we better just roll with it.
Wait, are you guys really not hearing me at all?
No, we hear you now, but you were lagging during the intro there.
Dude, that's what I said in the chat box. I'm lagging right now. This is wild. Anyway, hey guys, we're live. This is the Untethered podcast. My name is Matthew Roth, at MattRoth512 on Twitter. We got Mike Fagan. It's Mike Fagan on Twitter, and Derek Suboticki, at Derek Suboticki on Twitter.
That is
Mike, you
inaccurate.
didn't send out a show copy or anything like that, so what are we talking about?
At Untethered Subo.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, I didn't write a show list for today, so we're going to have to try to wing it. UFC was over the weekend. I was actually out. This is one of the only times that I was out watching a pay-per-view instead of at home. I actually was streaming the fights from the first bar we were at, and then we went to a bar that had the fights on, so I saw the last three fights. But one of the things I heard during the event on Twitter and then immediately following was there were a lot of decisions.
It's awful. This was the worst, one of the worst cards I've ever seen.
Thank Christ for Abel Trujillo and Jamie Varner.
Trujillo?
Trujillo.
How can you not pronounce anyone's name right?
It's Trujillo, but he's close on it. So like, I'll give him a pass on that. It's not like he's saying.
I did the last L too hard. Is that what you're saying, Trujillo?
Yeah, it's Trujillo.
Well,
No, you don't pronounce the L's at all. It's Trujillo. It's an
Trujillo.
H. Yeah, you're close. You're closer than when you say Werdum or Wanderlei. So I mean, I'll give you a pass.
All right, cool.
This shit sucked. No, but for the record, like this was the worst fucking UFC event ever. Like this sucked.
See, I having just watched the pay-per-view portion, I thought it was a fine card.
Oh, it sucked.
There were a few hours of crap leading up to that main card. You had 7 straight decisions on the prelims, and I don't know what the record is as far as decision saturation for a card. You've got let me see here, 10 out of 12. Like that's a pretty decision-laden card.
I believe that it was the most decisions on a UFC card, and then Erica in the chat noting that it has the record for most in-cage time during an event.
It's because it was
These
fucking
things happen.
atrocious.
Well, if the WWE scheduled a pay-per-view like that today, we would say it was stupid. But you can't schedule a mixed martial arts. You don't know who's going to finish what when. And when you have a card with Clint Hester versus some guy you've never heard of, it was obviously set up a couple of times to get the finish. But, it's unscripted. It's competition. There's not a lot you can do in order to ensure that this doesn't happen, because I think the fights they put on were competitive. And even in a couple of cases, like with Clint Hester versus Andy Enns, they clearly wanted to finish and they just didn't get one.
To me, the big thing though is like the people that we've thought were killers, a guy like Jose Aldo. When's the last time he was actually exciting?
He's not a killer. It turns out he's just a monster.
No, but when was the last time he was an exciting fighter?
I was excited during the Chan
No,
Sung
you
Jung
weren't.
fight.
No.
I was. No, the Korean Zombie fight was great because I enjoy seeing people actually challenge Jose Aldo and provide good foil for him. And I
You're
think
so full of shit.
I
It
think
sucks.
Lamas. No, everybody wants to talk shit about how, and we're going to talk about Aldo Pettis here in a little bit, but I don't think that either one of these guys has transcended their division. I saw Ricardo Lamas win the 5th round against Jose Aldo, and that's the first time I've seen anyone do that against Jose Aldo since he was near death against Mark Hominick, who turns out is not really a comparable 145er. But I think that Lamas absolutely is. I'm more than down to see a rematch now that Lamas kind of gets the butterflies and the jitters out. You could see him
Wait,
get more comfortable as the fight goes on.
Did you say you want to see a rematch between Lamas and Aldo?
Sure.
Are you fucking kidding me?
The last round I saw Ricardo Lamas fight Jose Aldo, Ricardo Lamas won.
Since when is one good round justification for a rematch?
No.
It was one good round at the end.
No.
Not an immediate
No.
rematch. But here's
No.
okay. Let me put it to you like this.
No.
Jose Aldo is done with 145, and there's no way that Chad Mendez can beat him because Jose Aldo beat Chad Mendez in 2012.
No.
Well, Clay Guida beat Anthony Pettis in 2011, so I think he needs to avenge that loss before he does anything outside of 155. Because clearly when a guy beats you 2 years ago, that means that, or when you beat a guy 2 years ago, that means that you'll always beat him every time you fight forever and ever. I think it's a stupid way to look at it.
But no one's making that argument. You just
Sure
made
they
that
are. They're saying that
argument up.
Aldo needs to
You
leave
just made this.
featherweight.
You just
No,
created
Aldo
this
has-
straw man
no, no.
to argue against.
Aldo has cleared out featherweight. Aldo's
No,
done
he
with
hasn't.
featherweight.
No, he hasn't.
Who hasn't he beaten?
No, he's totally
Cubs-
cleared out that.
No, he
See?
has. I want to see Cub Swanson. I want to see that Cub Swanson fight.
Yeah, the double knee to the face rematch.
That happened
Let's see if we can
5
get it done
years
in
ago?
6
That happened 5 years ago?
Yeah, but again, what we do with these champions now when we say that they're done with the division is we say, oh, he beat a guy 2 years ago.
Hey,
I
Derek,
have no interest
Derek, I have
in
a
seeing
question.
that fight again.
Derek, are you excited to see BJ Penn versus Frankie Edgar 3?
I've seen that fight twice, and it's 0-2. So a rubber match when it's 0-2 on one side is a little bit different than a rematch.
But do you have any interest in that fight?
I do. Of course
do?
I do. Who doesn't
Why?
want to see BJ Penn maybe in shape?
No,
The
of
question
course
is-
he does. Matt, of course he does. It's in the UFC. Of course he has interest in it.
Right, of course.
I know,
Except if it's Jose Aldo versus Cub Swanson, he has no interest in that because
That's a hard fight to sell me the rematch on. We've had that discussion before. But yeah,
BJ
fights
Penn
between-
hasn't won a single round against Frankie Edgar.
That's
Yeah,
not
he did.
true.
He won a couple in the first fight, you idiot.
Maybe he won one round in the first.
He
So
won,
he
I
hasn't.
think he won 2. I think there were 2
Oh, he should-
48-47 cards.
He
in
should have
that
won the. He
fight.
should have won the fight, but
No,
that's,
he shouldn't have.
yes, he should have.
New Jersey.
Yeah, you
No,
know,
it-
fights between incredibly talented mixed martial artists tend to up my ante. They tend to get my ears perked. And BJ Penn versus Frankie Edgar is exactly that. And the question with BJ is always whether or not he's going to be in shape. And it's tough to not be in shape when you're cutting down to a new weight.
I'm done.
That's a new record. 13 minutes in.
But no. I love this. You know, Jose Aldo's done with 145 because he beat Chad Mendez, who I think is unquestionably the number 2 in that division. Although Mendez versus Lamas would probably be a hell of a fight. Because he beat him 26 months ago, because he beat him in early 2012. And this whole champion versus champion thing, and Mike is going to talk about it here in a little bit because it goes with his UFC can't make the big fights. What would you have the UFC? Okay, so Aldo doesn't want to leave 145. He doesn't want to leave the belt.
That's not true.
Yes, he does. He wants to keep the belt. He
No,
wants
no,
to
no,
fight
no, no,
Pettis
no,
at
no, no, no,
155.
no.
He wants to keep the 155 belt if he wins, and if he loses, he wants to go back to 145.
He wants.
That's true. No, that's true. He said
Well,
that.
yeah, why would he? We had this argument on Twitter, but why would Aldo voluntarily agree to give up the belt? Why would you do that?
Because you
Because
want to
if you're-
go up a weight? Because you want to
Yeah.
leave the fucking division? If you
But
leave the division, you leave the belt.
You can sign in the bout agreement if Aldo wins, he vacates the belt. If not, he can go back to featherweight.
Well, isn't that convenient? That's all win, no lose for him. And then Pettis
That's not
is
all
just
win, no lose. He still loses the fight with Pettis.
yeah, but he keeps his belt. And if
But
Pettis
he's a 45er, so it doesn't count.
And
Yeah.
if Pettis loses, then he loses his belt, and if he wins nothing. It's just a big win for him. He's just defended his title. He's not a two-time
Yeah, he also
champ.
makes a bunch of money.
Like, okay,
This is the biggest fight either.
We
guy
had this
can-
conversation too. How many buys does Pettis Aldo do?
I don't know offhand, but
Maybe
it's gonna be
450.
more-
It does not do 500,000, and I don't think it's more than each one of them having their own individual fight, because I think that averages about 250 apiece, at least. So
Yeah, but
you're
it
making
doesn't-
a smaller fight by putting these two together, because neither
making
one
a
of them can
smaller
draw
fight.
fly. Neither one of them can draw flies to shit. So you're paying two champions, two champion purses, two cuts of the pay-per-view, and they're not selling anything extra. Like, it doesn't make any fiscal sense. This isn't some million buy fight like GSP versus Silva that's, sitting on the table and they're just waiting for him to dust it off and do it. This isn't a draw fight.
Well, let's look at what each guy has done in the last few fights.
Yeah, Aldo has not headlined a pay-per-view, I don't think, since
That's
Mendez.
because Aldo sucks shit. Fucking boring.
And I don't think Pettis has ever
Joe
headlined a
say-
pay-per-view either, so we have no idea how these guys draw his headline.
Aldo,
Yeah, he did.
Aldo,
Pettis just headlined a pay-per-view.
But Henderson, that was the headliner?
Yeah.
I don't think it was.
Yeah, it was.
I thought it was the co-main event.
No, that was in Milwaukee. That was the main event.
here's all of Aldo's pay-per-view numbers. He did 180,000 against Chancellor Jung last year in August. He did 330 with Frankie February 2nd at UFC 156. He did 215 against Mendez at 142, and he did 175 with that Faber fight.
Those are all as the headliner?
And those are all when he's in the headliner.
Well, yeah, 164, which is his biggest headlining fight, rematch of the fight of the year, 270,000 buys. He's not a pay-per-view draw. He's on a 4-fight winning streak.
Here's what Benson Henderson did. He did the Pettis fight, which is 270, and this is just going for looking at the lightweight numbers. He did 270 against Pettis, or Pettis did hit 270 with him. He did 190 with Edgar in the second fight. He did 325 with Edgar in the first fight, and those are all of his pay-per-views.
What you've just described are two very bad pay-per-view draws, and combining two very
If the
bad
UFC,
pay-per-view draws.
can't sell a featherweight champion versus lightweight champion fight, then the problem isn't with the two guys in the cage.
Okay, let's do this. If they tell these guys you don't get to keep your belt, when you come up and you fight a champion and you try to take his belt, you don't get to fall back on yours as a safety net. If that's the rule,
But they let BJ Penn do that.
they did let BJ Penn do that at UFC 93 against George St. Pierre, and BJ Penn was a former welterweight champion at the time, so the idea of him jumping up to 170 wasn't absolutely insane.
Yeah, but you're saying if he's going to jump up to challenge at a different weight,
Well,
then he
me,
needs to
I don't
go inside.
I don't like champions fighting champions anyway. I really don't, because if one of them wins, then you have the potential of a two-division champion who is defending each division's belt half as often as it should be. With these champions fighting twice a year, I really don't want either the 145 or 155 title to be up once every 12 months.
Yeah, again,
I don't like the idea
you
of
can-
multi-division
You can
champions.
write it into the bout agreement that if Aldo wins, he has to vacate the featherweight title. Then your problem is not there anymore.
Well, then there's no risk for Aldo. Then Aldo gets to
There's
have
no
his...
risk.
No,
He's still
there
fighting.
isn't. He gets to have his cake, which is a huge Pettis fight that he wouldn't get otherwise because he's a 145er, and he gets to eat it too, which is that
Well,
even
Derek,
if
I
he
thought-
doesn't win the better belt, he gets
Derek,
to
I thought
keep
it
the
wasn't a-
implicitly crappier one.
I thought it wasn't a big fight.
What do you mean?
You were saying that it's not going to sell anything, so it can't be that big of a fight.
Well, you're an asshole, Mike. You make the stupidest arguments. You call back on the rankings every time they back you up, but when they don't, they're shit. Like, you use Zuffa's past practices to justify them doing stuff now, even if you disagreed with them doing it when they did it. Fuck you.
What did I disagree with?
No, if Zuffa did this with George St. Pierre versus BJ Penn like 3-4 years ago, early 09, Does that make it okay for them to do it now? Were you pissed about them doing it? Then there's no consistency. You just pick whatever you need at the moment.
I wasn't pissed about it.
Whoa. Easy there, pot.
Hey, fuck you. I am a model of consistency. You know what I'm going to think before I say it.
The only thing you're consistent about is that you just suck on the UFC's dick. That's the only thing that you're consistent about.
Well, it's like a football fan sucking on the NFL's dick. Most football fans do, because that's where the best football is.
Most football fans hate Roger Goodell.
You can hate Roger Goodell all day, but then you turn in and watch his product. I am a bigger critic of Dana White than most NFL fans are of Roger Goodell. Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
And that's when I call you a liar.
No, most football fans will just say, Goodell's a pussy. Or they'll say that the former players that are suing them are, guys that are just trying to get an extra buck out of the industry that made them rich in the first place. Most casual sports fans are way dumber than me. I almost said than MMA fans, but I think that's pretty competitive. Your average football fan versus your average MMA fan. Pretty competitive intellectually. The point is, this is not how would you have them do it? You want them to just kowtow to Aldo's every demand and let him have everything that he wants. I don't see the motivation for Pettis to even take that fight.
So wait, time out 1 second. I want to revisit something. You said that MMA fans are smarter than any other fan?
No. I said I almost said that, but I didn't. I stopped myself. I said MMA fan, your average MMA fan and your average NFL fan are probably pretty comparative in terms of horsepower in their brain.
That's not even true either.
Well, who do you think's smarter, the average NFL fan or the average MMA fan?
NFL fan, 100%.
Why is that? Have you been to a bar and watched a football game? Hell, you're a Cowboys fan.
Have you been to a bar to watch a UFC fight?
Yes, I have. I do it all the time, and it's the same level of idiot. We're not a special breed of moron.
So you were just arguing that MMA fans are smarter. And now you're arguing that they're the same.
No, I stopped myself before making that argument. I said I am smarter than than casual sports fans, most of them. I did not say that MMA fans are smarter than most casual sports fans, because I think it's pretty close.
Derek, I don't think you're smarter than most casual sports fans.
Well, I know you don't, Mike. And if you did, I'd be more worried.
Shall we move on along the card here?
No. I want to hear Subo still talk about MMA fans are smarter than anyone else.
When I don't have an argument for you to criticize, you just impugn one upon me and then criticize it. It's a nice straw man. It's a lovely technique.
That's the best part about Subo, is that he just projects everything that he does onto other people.
I'm being told that I made an argument that I was explicitly no, I don't want to make that argument. But now it's mine. Now I own it. So what the fuck?
So, Matt, what did you think of the decision in the Renan Barão-Uriah Faber fight when Herb Dean stepped in?
I thought it was a bad stoppage. I thought that it was a quick stoppage. You could have made the case beforehand when Faber got dropped a couple of times to stop the fight, but when the actual fight was stopped, at that moment, it was a bad stoppage, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
The punches that Barão was throwing on the ground at that moment were getting blocked or hitting the shoulder. I don't buy Faber saying that his thumb was up, so he should keep fighting, because that's horseshit too. I mean, you do have to try and improve your position. You can't just defend yourself. Do I think it's a bad stoppage? Yeah. Can you make the case that it should have been stopped sooner? Of course.
Well, I think the other thing other people are that had even if they hadn't stopped, or Herb Dean hadn't stopped it, then that result was sort of inevitable at that point. Renan Barão had been controlling the fight up to that point, and it really started laying it on in the second half of the round. And
to that point, by up to that point, we need to stipulate we're talking about 3 minutes and 42 seconds of a 25-minute fight.
Yeah, but that also includes a knockdown, a second knockdown. That wasn't really
I just hate that. I hate that logic that he's probably going to win anyway, or it seemed like it was a foregone conclusion. Even in a fight with Velasquez versus Rothwell, where Rothwell is clearly getting the shit beaten out of him, bad stoppage is a bad stoppage.
It's a bad justification for it, but it sort of explains why there's not a terrible amount of people feeling bad for Faber, and that's mostly because he was well on his way to losing the fight. But it was a bad stoppage.
That is what sucks, because it depending on who is stopped and the importance of the fight, and whether or not people, what they think his relative chances are vis-a-vis taking the title or defending it, people get more or less pissed about poor refereeing. And the fact that it's Herb Dean makes it even worse because it's not like you expect the ref to go undefeated and be perfect all the time. So when Herb Dean makes a mistake, you kind of say, he's normally really good. We'll chalk it up to experience. It happens. And I would like to see the same amount of fire at the decision itself, at the actual action, instead of having it influenced by who it is and where it is and what exactly happened and what you thought his odds were going into the fight, because none of that shit matters. The problem is bad refereeing, and that's what the focus should be on.
Well, and Dean's huge problem was that he didn't give Faber enough time, but also it wasn't like a decision that was a split second thing. He
hit him in the hand and wrist like 4 straight times. I really didn't hear any of that, need to work, got to do something, I'm going to stop it. It was very fast.
I'm pretty sure I heard Dean say that he has to work or move or, one of those phrases, but even then,
compared to like the Mir Lesnar 2 fight, where Mir is almost dead and painted across the canvas and his corner's going, no, stop it, before Dean steps in. Like 8 or 9 unanswered straight punches to the face.
Yeah.
Consistency is the number one thing you want from a ref. If you do something that surprises me, that's way worse than doing the same crappy thing that you always do, because I can prepare for that as a fighter.
Well, and the other thing for me too is that the turtle is a effective defensive position. I mean, if Barao was throwing knees like GSP did in the second Serra fight, that's one thing. But if he's throwing punches that were landing mostly on the arm,
we'll say where.
That was like a Herschel Walker TKO stoppage. Is basically what that was.
But who do we want to fight Barao next? Is there someone?
I don't care.
We've talked about it a million times on the show, but I would have no objections, and I'm pretty sure Dominic Cruz wouldn't have any objections to just doing that. I don't really need to see Cruz against, I wanted to say Scott Jorgensen, but who's my stand-in 135 gatekeeper now? Like, who's...
Zach Markovsky.
There you go. Yeah, well, that'd be a hell of a fight, too. Dominic Cruz
versus
fun size.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Why
I
not,
like that fight. Make that fight happen.
Why not Cruz versus your boy Caceres?
Well, I think that's a bridge too. I think Caceres is just now inching into the top 10 if he's lucky.
Yeah, Markovsky's a 125er. I'm sorry, I thought I remembered him as a Bellator bantamweight champion.
He was, and then Bellator cut him because he went 6-2, and they just have so many bantamweights that are better than Zach Markovsky. The fucking deep roster over there.
Patrick Wyman noting in the chat that neither of those two guys fight at 135.
That's true.
Who the hell else fight? Who fights at 135 that you would want to see Cruz come back against?
Eddie Wineland.
That's a really tough comeback fight. If you're talking about giving Cruz...
Renan Barao isn't a tough fight?
No, but you guys are all about bringing Cruz back and giving him a baby test. That's what you guys want. So who do you want Cruz to fight?
I don't want a baby test. I just don't want him fighting Renan Barao for his fight after almost 3. Yeah, which is probably going to be closer to like 2 3/4 years.
You could just say 3 years there. You can just round up. It's okay. But who would you like to see?
5 years.
You think that Eddie Wineland is like a fucking warm-up fight? Because I don't. I think if you bring Cruz back in for like a 3-round fight, it needs to be against somebody who's not very good.
Oh.
I wouldn't throw him in with Wineland. I'd throw him with someone further down the rankings.
George Roop.
Mizugaki, Alcantara.
George Roop.
Beat George Roop, get a title shot.
Derek, you're the fucking worst.
Gotta love it. I just
it's
think
a tune-up fight. It's not a contender fight. It's just to get him ready to fight the title fight.
I don't think he wants a tune-up fight, and he probably should, and maybe his corner will tell him that he should, and his coaches, I'm sure, will listen to them. But I think Cruz, he was ready to fight the champion a week ago, and now he's putting pictures up on Instagram of him hiking up hills and running around and shit. So hopefully his groin tear is going to heal a lot fucking more quickly than that knee, and we'll see him by the end of summer somewhere.
McKinley in the chat asking, is Brian Bowles still alive?
Probably off.
Fuck Brian Bowles.
Being a racist somewhere.
That dude's legit racist.
He is, and he's one of the guys that I always got happy when he loses. When Uriah Faber fucking guillotined him to death, that was a wonderful, wonderful experience for me.
Or when George Roop beat him. That was fun.
All right, can we talk a little bit about the Overeem Mir fight?
No, it was a bad fight.
I disagree. I thought it was
Shitty performance by Overeem.
It was just so boring.
I enjoyed Overeem beating the hell out of Frank Mir.
No, you didn't. See, why can't we call Mike
Yes,
a
I
liar
did.
when he says stuff? When Mike says declarative sentences, why do we call him a liar? Like, why am I the only one that gets that?
I
Because he's not
thoroughly
lying.
enjoyed it.
No, you didn't.
So, Matt, you thought it was a bad performance from Overeem?
I just thought it was a boring performance. Like, here's the thing about Overeem. I'm not watching him fucking jab. That's not why I want to watch Overeem fight. I don't want to see Overeem just jab. I froze. Whatever. I just froze.
No, you're good.
Um,
We're here.
You're good.
You were able to hear me? I said that I don't want to see Overeem just jab people. I don't want to see him, take his time. I don't want to see Overeem go to decision. I want to see Alistair Overeem finish Katz in the first or second round with brutal knees and ruin guts. That's why I watch Alistair Overeem, and him fighting smart. Fuck Alistair Overeem.
Casual MMA fans, baby.
See, I totally understood. Overeem's 0-2 in his last two. Frank Mir's got 3 losses coming into it. If Overeem takes a third loss with a near $300,000 to show contract, like, he's just asking to get cut. And I'm assuming he wants to keep cashing those paychecks. So,
Yeah, but do you think that the UFC is like here's the thing about those big contracts and those big name fighters like that. Like, you have to win excitingly. You can't just pick up W's.
Yeah, but they can't cut him. They can't cut him after a win.
Yeah, but they can cut him on his next loss if they want to.
Sure, but they probably could have cut him. I don't know why they would keep him around with 3 straight losses and making that much money.
Well, I mean, does a win like the one that he has over Frank Mir now, like, does Overeem now have some kind of drawing capability that actually
No, he has
justifies his
none.
paycheck?
He
That's
has
what I
none.
mean. Though the idea of Overeem's contract, of any contract that large, is you can sell cards. You can get people to want to watch your fights. And while I'll always enjoy watching Overeem get knocked the fuck out, watching him lay on a broken heavyweight for 15 minutes is not my idea of fun.
Right.
It totally makes sense. But different than you, Matt, I totally get why he's doing it, because a mixed martial artist's first job is to win the fucking fight. Everything else is great.
I get why he did it. I don't need to fucking like it, and I don't need to say, oh, hey, I want to watch him fight again. I don't have to do either of those things. And quite frankly, the way he fought doesn't make me want to watch Alistair Overeem again. I don't watch Alistair Overeem because he jabs people. Or he's very or
Want
he
to see him
works
throw them bungalows.
or no, but that's what you want to see Alistair Overeem do.
That is it. That is it.
You want to see Alistair Overeem knee people in the guts and ruin people's guts. That's
Or
what you
get
want.
ruined himself, because that is also entertaining.
But like that's the only reason why people like Alistair Overeem. It's not because like, oh man, he has this incredible personality and he's like really outgoing and blah 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 and is super loud and and he comes back like Chris Lieben. Like Chris Lieben, if he's near knockout, he's always still fighting, or he used to be. Now he's retired. But but like that's why people tune in to watch Chris Lieben. Is one, he was the guy who was like, I'll get wasted the night before and I'll still knock cats out.
No, his cardio, like the night after a bender, when everyone in the gym is like puking into buckets and he's still just running on a treadmill, even though he's up till 4 in the morning drinking. Like, that's just, he was a special athlete too on that show.
But that's the thing. Like, I tuned in to watch Chris Lieben fight because I knew what kind of fight it was going to be. It was going to be one of those blood and guts kind of wars. I'm not tuning in to watch Alistair Overeem, who looks like a goddamn superhero, throw jabs and like he bruised up and bloodied up Frank Mir, but that's not an entertaining fight. That's not a fun fight to watch.
See, I mean, I thought the first round especially was good. He completely dominated the round. He knocked Mir down. I mean, he took it easy in rounds 2 and 3. But my thing is when you have a one-sided fight like this that may not have been the most interesting fight to people. To me, the onus is on the guy who wasn't able to do anything. I mean, Overeem can only do so much. If Mir's able to take the beating, but he can't do anything back, like that it takes 2 to tango, and it's the other guy who's not doing anything.
Overeem didn't work to finish.
Well, he doesn't want what happened to him in the Brown fight or in any other number of Overeem fights in the past to happen, where he tires himself out looking for a finish, doesn't get it, and then is on the receiving end of a knockout.
Well,
I totally get it.
Yeah, but that still doesn't excuse him from criticism.
No, I
just because you've been knocked out before and you don't want to get knocked out, that's fine, man. But like, still, if you have that big contract, you need to justify it, and he didn't justify it. That's what it comes down to. He wasn't entertaining. That was a boring fight. You could say, oh, it was really interesting seeing him be really tentative and working and showing his cardio. That shit was boring. Like, you're not selling fights because you took Frank Mir to the decision.
So what do you think Overeem gets next then, though?
I think Overeem gets his pink slip because he sucks.
People are talking about Mark Hunt. That would be super, super fun, but I personally think that it would be nice for Miocic to get another notch on his belt, somebody who's probably still ranked a little bit higher than him, just based on the idiots that do the UFC rankings. I bet they do have Overeem over Miocic, so I'd like to see Miocic take that fight and leapfrog his ass.
They in fact do, Derek. They moved Overeem up 2 spots, leaping over Hunt and Miocic.
I think that having Overeem ranked over Miocic is a little bit silly, although I guess beating Mir, I'm sure, is weighted more heavily than beating Gabriel Gonzaga. But yeah, that would be the fight I'd like to see. I think it has a little more relevance.
So I'm looking at the rankings here, and for some reason in this last batch, Dan Henderson just moved up a spot over Shogun.
That makes sense, because Shogun sucks.
I don't remember Dan Henderson getting guillotined by Chael Sonnen, so...
Yep.
Yeah, but they haven't fought since... I mean, why would they have moved?
Because people get bored and they're just like, oh, I should shuffle around my stupid shit. I don't know. We can bring McKinley on here to bitch about the rankings at some point. Just give him the whole hour to just fucking tear people down one by one.
McKinley, just do it now. Just bitch about the rankings. Do it. Come on. Do it.
On the air.
Come on, man.
You gotta pay him to do it. He's in negotiations right now to bitch about the rankings. He's not doing it for free.
Don't make me blow up your spot. I'll ruin that whole fucking thing right now, McKinley, unless you come on and you talk about the rankings.
That whole fucking thing where you talking about like his marriage? Like, what do you mean?
No.
What spot are you blowing up here?
What he's negotiating for.
Oh,
don't make me do it, McKinley. You come on and you give us free content.
Matt,
I'm gonna blow up your paid content bullshit.
Don't fuck with people's money, Matt. You know that. This shit's not right.
He left.
Yeah, fuck this. Good man.
Yeah, we got. We do have. Uh-oh.
Oh, shit. I know his wife's maiden, Van Reef.
This is fucking bullshit. Here's the problem with the fucking UFC rankings. You have 60 people. You have 60 goddamn people. You have Americans. You have Brazilians. You have Russians. None of these fucking people watch MMA. These people only watch the pay-per-views. They only rank fighters based on people they like and people that Dana White tells them to rank. It's not a fucking coincidence that Renan Barão jumps 3 spots on the pound-for-pound list immediately after Dana White says, ugh, Renan Barão is... he's the number 1 pound for pound because he beat 25 fucking dudes in Brazil that nobody notices. You call out any of these rankings, and it's the same answer from all these fucking people. It doesn't matter. I have my own system for rankings. No, this is the guy that I think is the number 1 guy. I don't fucking care that Benson Henderson beat Josh Thompson. I wanted Josh Thompson to win. So fuck Benson Henderson. I'm gonna rank Josh Thompson above everyone because I'm fucking Ted Gruber and I don't know how to do my shit. No. Fuck everyone who does the UFC rankings and doesn't do any goddamn research. This is why you can have Roy Nelson ranked over a guy that he just lost to. This happened last year and it was on TV. It was on fucking TV. None of these people care. You should not have humans doing these rankings because humans are fucking stupid. Just have fight metric, put a bunch of data into a spreadsheet, and rank these guys based on actual fucking data. If you beat someone, you go over them in rankings. It's not fucking hard. Fuck it. I am done. Fuck Ted Gruber. Fuck Abe Cannon. Fuck everyone who does the rankings. I don't care who you are.
All of you, even the.
Hey, what about me? What about me, McKinley?
You have Mark Hunt in the pound for pound list. Don't fucking talk to me.
Well, don't you know the pound for pound list is power rankings, isn't that right, Matt? It's just who you think would beat everybody, so it should be all heavyweights at pound for pound.
I put Mark Hunt in there.
I hate you so much.
I hate everybody, and I just
Fuck you, Matt. A pound of Mark Hunt will beat a pound of any other fighter in the world. That's Samoan flesh. Samoan flesh. You can't beat it.
You can't beat Samoan flesh.
Matt Roth not only put in Mark Hunt in his pound for pound rankings, he moved him up one spot.
Yeah,
this
what is
week
he,
to
number 6?
8.
Like, where the fuck is he? Like, right above Mighty Mouse?
He's got Jones number 1, Velasquez number 2, Aldo number 3, Demetrius Johnson, Chris Weidman, Renan Barao, Anthony Pettis, Mark Hunt, Rashad Evans, Ronda Rousey, Uriah Faber, Gilbert Melendez, Anderson Silva, Johnny Hendricks, and Frankie Edgar.
Those are pretty accurate.
Yeah, because Jersey.
Yeah, Frankie Edgar.
Because Jersey.
Yeah, no, Frankie Edgar has done the damn thing at multiple weight classes.
Yeah, but by done the damn thing, we mean both won and lost controversial decisions.
Right. He's done it. But he's done it.
The damn thing has been done.
He's proven that he can fight at multiple pounds.
Well, not a lot of guys fight at a single pound. It's a small weight division. That is the premature baby division. It is very small.
I'm just saying, Frankie Edgar has proven that he can fight at different pound limits.
And eat a lot of pasta. Go root for the Stocks or whatever.
And here's the thing about my Mark Hunt rankings. I don't care. Like,
let me ask you this: what is like the New Jersey baseball team of choice? You fuckers don't have a baseball team. Who do people
Yankees.
go for? Well, I figure there's some Mets fans too.
No, and then South Jersey likes Phillies.
Yeah.
Phillies. Okay. All right. Well, the fucking female horse.
Here's my thing about sports, Mike, and you'll agree with this. After the Super Bowl, baseball season should start the following Monday, like the next day, right?
Pitchers are going to start to report.
You got pitchers and catchers coming in.
On.
Mike is always excited when the pitchers and catchers come in. Mike loves pitching and catching. You're a baseball guy. What do you think?
The lowest common denominator.
White stupid I'm talking about baseball, you dirty bastard. Jesus.
Mike, here's the thing.
Big White Sox fan. And
Mike, you never addressed it last week, and we still need to have you address it. Why did you hold someone's penis? Why did you hold somebody's penis?
This is like a month that we've been searching for the answer to this, and he's not sure if he did. How is there ambiguity as to whether or not you had a dick sitting in your hand?
Well, I definitely put my hand on cock over the pants. I'm just not sure if I've actually put it skin to skin.
Okay. Well, let's start there. Why'd you do that?
I don't know. I was young.
I was young.
Young, dumb, and looking for cum? Like, what are you doing, Mike? What the fuck, buddy? I was young. Hey, Hitler, why'd you kill all those Jews? I was young.
I don't know why you guys are so freak. There's nothing wrong with touching some cock.
When you're a woman.
I do it every day, but it's mine.
Or when it's your wiener.
Yeah, you can stroke your wiener all day, be nice to it and everything, but somebody else's, I'm just not going to be that. There's not going to be that level of care, sympathy.
Now, Derek, I expected this from you, Matthew. I did not expect this from you.
Yeah, I've never touched somebody else's penis.
This sort of judgment and cockhole shaming, I just didn't expect it from you, Matt.
I'll tell you what, Matt doesn't like being on my team very often, but I think he's on Team Subo right now. I'm not fucking worried about him defecting to Team Mike on this one.
I'm on my own team on this one, man.
We'll be on the touch our own dicks team
right now.
Mookie joined at the right time.
We'll just sit back to back.
Hey, Mookie.
Mookie, why do you have Hines Ward holding the Super Bowl trophy? Thank you. Best joke of the show, and no one on the podcast of the fucking iTunes will get it. Great.
I'll tweet it out. So, guys, we got 15 minutes left. What are we going to talk about?
Nothing. We're done.
No. I've been excited about Machida versus Musashi since I can remember it. I know it's not the day after tomorrow or anything, but I still want to talk about it because I think it's a fantastic fight, and I want to get your early thoughts on it.
What fight are we talking about?
Musashi versus Machida, which in the olden UFC days would have been a fight that we had already been talking about for like 2 or 3 weeks. Like, this is a huge, awesome, incredibly interesting fight at 185, especially with a new champion. And I think that if it weren't for the incredibly packed schedule and the fact that every week is fight week, this fight would be getting talked about a lot more.
It's a good fight. It's not a big fight.
I think it's probably, you don't think it's a number one contenders?
It's a number one contenders fight, but it's not. I mean, Musashi is not. He has almost zero exposure in the United States.
That's true, and I'm not arguing that it's going to be some kind of a massive draw or it's going to be very well watched, but as far as from a mixed martial arts fan point of view, I am fascinated to see these two styles go up against each other.
It's a fun fight for sure. I was talking to this fight with a friend last night. I think the thing, Machida's a 2.5 to 1 favorite coming in, but the thing for me is that, Shogun, who was and John Jones have been the only two guys that really have been able to stifle Machida, and Musashi's not a guy who's exactly known for his fight IQ.
You don't think Phil Davis stifled Machida?
No.
You think
No,
he got
I
his? Well, I think he.
I don't think he got his ass kicked.
I don't think he got dominated either. I think that was a competitive, dirty kind of bout, which is not like the Machida clinical, I don't get hit, you do kind of bout. I think that one kind of fits into what you're talking about.
I have to go back and look at the numbers, but
Musashi's not Phil Davis. Musashi's not going to be closing distance rapidly and throwing leg kicks and then shooting like shitty takedown attempts and trying to get out. These are two guys that are going to try to snipe each other.
Yeah, and I think that's just a fight, given the styles, that's going to play right into Machida's hands. I think Musashi is a wonderful striker. I just don't think he has the IQ to solve the Machida problem.
That's what I'm interested in seeing. I have never seen him against anybody even close to Machida's caliber. I give him shit for not being able to finish 185-pound Keith Jardine a few years ago. But at the other hand, at the same time, Musashi is an incredible talent. He subbed Mark Hunt, which means he should get some fucking pound-for-pound consideration. And I'm fascinated by this fight. So you sound like you kind of think that Machida wins this walking away. What about you, Matt?
I think that Machida should win it. Just because I'm not ever really sold on Gegard Musashi. I think that he's one of those players that kind of gets by against crappier competition.
Do you feel that way about Francis Carbon? Do you think that he's going to get severely exposed by Jacare?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's an easy fight for me to pick.
And really, if that's not a number one contenders fight, Machida versus Musashi, then you could have like a little mini 4-man tournament for that number one slot right there, and the winner of that fight will fight Souza. And then you have a really legit number one contender for Belfort Weidman winner.
Yeah, when we talk about Musashi's competition, if you look back at his opponents over the last few years, Ilir Latifi, obviously.
Huge win.
Mike Kyle,
Huge win.
The biggest win of his career is Babalu.
Mike Kyle, Oven St. Preux, Hiroshi Izuma, Keith Jardine, Tatsuya Mizuno,
Jardine
Bryan,
was a draw.
That's a bullshit draw. Mola Wall, Goodridge, Sokoju, Babalu, Mark Hunt, Jacare, Manuf, etc. He had a good run where he had some decent competition, but he's never fought anyone.
Let's say this much. That loss to King Mo looks a lot shittier now than it did when it happened.
Yep.
Like a lot shittier. Everybody thought that Mo was the truth. Everybody was trying to put all three of those guys in the top 10 at light heavyweight at the time. That was a little bit silly. It was a little bit fast. Although I do still love Fei Zhao, and if he can stay on weight and clean, then I think he'll be really, really good for a long time. So, yeah, I think that's a fascinating card. I think it's a really fascinating fight. And do we want to talk about Josh Thompson talking a bunch of shit on Benson Henderson?
Nope.
I guess I did ask you, so I can't get that mad, but it's unfucking believable, Matt Roth. Every time he got close to me, I felt like I was able to get the body lock and just take him down. All the things that I had in my mind with him being strong, being a hard kicker, all those things, they weren't true.
I said no.
I'm going to skip half of it. Let me just tell you, he's not strong. He doesn't hit hard. He's not strong. He doesn't kick hard. All those things, none of those things apply.
So all those things, none of them apply.
No, although, well, as a libertarian, he's got a very evolved speaking style. But what'd you break your fucking hand on? Paper mache? Like, you got hard bones, but like, what are you going for here?
Well, it was surprising to me in the fight that Thompson was able to take Henderson down like he did. Because it really didn't look like he put a lot of effort into it. He was able just to get the body lock, sort of drag him down, and just took the back over and over again.
And that was crazy. And I think that he definitely believes in his technique, and I think that might even be superior to Benson Henderson's, and I'd love to see a rematch with a non-broken hand. But you don't do that when you win, and he wouldn't be doing that if he won, talking a bunch of shit on Benson Henderson. So you only do it when you lose, and I just think it's kind of a bad look.
I think Ross still doesn't care.
Nobody rubs in victory like that. Matt, what the fuck do you got? Come on now. I just want to thank both of you guys for not bringing up the Super Bowl, because really, like, if the Bears ever make it and fucking lose, if the Bears or Cowboys ever make it and lose by 35, it will be a topic on the following week's show.
I don't care about the Bears.
Okay, Packers then. That's right. He wants to hold Aaron Rodgers' dick.
What happened?
I have no idea. Your video is frozen, but I can hear you. Matt is fucking with us. I just saw him smile. Matt loves it when we fail. He's just, it's the best ever. Yay.
I'm the best ever.
You're fucking shit, Ingram.
I'm the best ever. I'm the best ever.
That's
you're next. Yeah.
As Mookie says in the chat, Tony Romo would have won that game for the Broncos.
He would have.
Oh,
No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
No, but seriously, Derek, what, as a Broncos fan, what were you most disappointed with? Cause
I was most disappointed with the fact that we didn't show up.
No, you guys actually showed up.
No, it doesn't take away from Seattle's win. Seattle's best. I said all week that I think if Denver plays its best game, then it can beat anybody's best. And I am not sure about that now, because Seattle at its best was fucking scary. But we'll never know. We'll never know what the best Broncos team would have done against the best Seahawks team, because the best Broncos team was fucking nowhere to be found on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Seattle got a couple bounces that went their way, but it wouldn't have mattered in the end, given the way that the game played out. I know Richard Sherman talked about the fact that they were able to read Manning at the line, and they sort of figured out some of his hand signals for his audibles and stuff. And if you can get a jump on that guy, if you can get a jump on him, and their defense played great.
Our defense played great too, and that's what I think everybody was scared that our defense wasn't going to be able to hack it, that it was unstoppable force versus immovable object, but we give up the safety, we kick the ball off to them, we hold them to a field goal, instant 3 and out, and an interception on our next 2 drives, and at the end of the first quarter, we're only down 8-0. That is, our defense did an incredible job, and our offense could not stay on the field, could not get them a break.
So where did the other 34 points come from?
Well, the other 30, one of them was on a pick 6, and one of them was on a kickoff return. So the defense only gave up like 22 points.
Only?
Yeah, which is, and they completely shut down Marshawn Lynch. He averaged like 1.2 yards per carry on like 15 carries. He did nothing.
I think the point too is that giving up 22 points for the Denver Broncos offense is usually enough for a W. Even in the playoffs, usually you're going to be able to win with 20 points in that offense.
Our lowest point total of the year was 20 points.
Was that the Patriots game or?
San Diego game we lost. The Patriots game we scored 31.
That's right.
We have the highest scoring offense in NFL history, and we're shut out not only for the first quarter for the first time in the season, but for the first half in the first time in the season. We're only down 3 scores going into the half, and if we fucking finish that last drive before the half, then we're only down 2, and then our special teams, which have been historically bad all year.
Hey, so this
God
is
forbid you
way more important.
out of the back of the fucking end zone. I'm okay with losing. Fox after that game.
So this is really important, by the way. So Warner Brothers is teaming with Ronda Rousey for something called Athena Project. So she's leaving MMA. Like, she's going to be an actress. I'll post the link in the.
But
Oh,
as
it's
the
already in
Athena
the chat.
project
It's
is
in the chat.
still looking for a writer, it's likely that Rousey will be back in the gym prepping for her next bout.
It's also tapped her.
Or speaking to what it says is a wonderful life hack that I've learned.
It's also tapped her for one of the female leads in the upcoming Entourage movie.
Right.
So she's already got a lead role. She may have 2 leading roles.
Sure, maybe, and one of them is waiting for a writer. So, like they say, it's probably going to be a delay. You don't normally fight a writer, and then you're ready to shoot in like 3 months. So, like prepping for a fight. I mean, an 8-week camp is an 8-week camp. It really doesn't take that long.
Dude, if she keeps getting these kind of offers, she's leaving fighting.
We will see. I am not as pessimistic. I'm sure eventually it will happen, but I don't think the idea that she has 3 fights left in her is insane. Not at all. I think that she could wrap up 2014, maybe even go into 2015 a little bit, and then,
Then I retire?
probably.
Wasn't
we'll
one of her
see.
things? Hasn't she talked about that she likes doing things in 4-year cycles?
She has, and I
4 or
think-
5 years, and so that would be the end of this year.
Yeah, so I don't think I don't think she has 1 UFC fight left in her. I would be surprised if it was 2. I think she's got more than that. Because I think eventually they'll bring Holly Holm over, and that will be a fight that actually interests her.
Well, what would prevent them from doing that later in this year?
Not a lot. I just think they want
Like
Holm
if Ronda
win
tells the
another fight or
UFC,
two.
if Ronda tells the UFC I'm done after this next fight, after McMahon, that would be the perfect time for them to get home.
No, that'd be the worst time to get home because you bring Holm in, Rousey beats her, and then Rousey leaves. You bring Holm in after Rousey leaves if you know when she's leaving. So she can be your new fucking champion. You don't sacrifice her to the leaving champion.
Wait, are you saying that Rousey just just throws the fight so Holly Holm can win
I'm saying
the
that
belt?
Rousey fights someone who's not Holly Holm for her last UFC fight. If you know it's her last UFC fight, you don't put your best fighter up against her because if your best fighter wins, then great. But if she loses, then she has this unavengeable loss that's on her record, and that shit sucks.
Who would you Who would you suggest that she fight?
I like Alexis Davis. I think she'll win one more fight between now and then, and that'll be fine.
But wouldn't
And
a
then-
Holly Holm fight make more money? Does she have a bigger name?
Again, we have this discussion. What does Holly Holm sell? What does Holly Holm add to Ronda Rousey's pay-per-view drawing capabilities at this moment? The answer is
Nothing. She
zero.
does nothing. She does nothing.
Nothing. So it doesn't matter. Rousey's selling $350 versus X. You just sign X.
Just a more suggestion.
And Holly
Right
Holm
now,
is like
not-
31. We might as well fucking put her out the pasture. It's fucking Mike Fagan's fucking Logan's Run right here. Damn it, Patrick Wyman, I expect better from you. Being 31 does not mean you are shot.
Derek, you're so silly.
I hate
Um,
all of you. I'm a silly goose, Mike.
Oh, the
said,
other thing too,
while
Derek.
cupping
Why do you
balls.
care if Ronda Rousey leaves?
Well, because I root for the UFC, Mike. I want them to make money and sell fights and reach
Why?
new customers.
Why?
Because I like the sport, and the UFC is the best thing that ever happened to the sport.
Well, I hate to break it to you, but Rousey's gonna.
Oh, I'm sure. I am confident that she will, and I'm not gonna fucking hate her when she does. I'm not gonna say fuck you, you betrayed mixed martial arts because you want to get paid more money for working less hard. That doesn't make any sense. These are fucking free agents of free will. But I'm glad that she's here.
Just a free will.
Yes, they have
What the
free will,
fuck does that
and they are
even
free
mean?
agents. What do you mean? What does it mean? You want me to break down the philosophy of it for you? They're not predetermined. They don't owe me anything. They are free to look out for their own interests. Like, I understand that, so I'm not gonna hate Rousey when she leaves, but I hope she sticks around for as long
I
as
hate
possible.
you. I hate 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 you.
He used to
I
do this
hate
and then
you.
say nice things to me off
I
air, but
hate
now
you.
he just says, no, I really do hate you.
I hate you.
He
I
believes it.
hate you. I 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 hate you.
Hey, well, fuck you,
I
Ayn
hate
Rand,
you.
boy. We know
I
you
hate you.
Asperger's
I
sit in the
hate
dark
you.
room reading
I
Ayn
hate
Rand.
you.
You win
I
Gulch
hate
without
you.
any fucking
I hate
talent. That's
you.
no good.
I hate you.
You're just living in the
I
Gulch.
hate you. I
Alone.
hate you. I 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 hate you.
Oh, I would
I
fucking
hate
shoot
you.
at Rand Coulter.
I hate you.
I would
hate
wreck
you.
that chick.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I
do
hate you.
Terrible,
I
depraved
hate you.
things.
I hate you.
Punch her in the spine.
I hate you. 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 I hate you.
I like how he takes a
I
breath
hate
in
you.
between each
I
one.
hate you. I 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 hate you. Hey, Dark. Hey, Dark.
A little short of breath, buddy.
Hey, Dark.
Hey, well, what?
I hate you. Hey, Derek. Knock, knock.
Yo, I was gonna plug your other radio show
Yo,
because
yo,
you forgot.
yo. By the way,
'Cause you
catch
suck.
me on Wednesday
so
night.
fucking mad at this.
Catch me on Wednesday night. It's Kidside Live on Kidside Seats. We talk pro wrestling. It's way better than this show. Bye.
What an idiot! What a gift I give him. Jesus, tap dance.